dial it now, but I'll let you know when to talk.
Good evening, and thank you for joining my live Town Hall conference. Please hold on while others join in. This is Senator Muse, and I'm thankful that you are on this call. We'll hold just a few more moments as persons are now calling in. Please be patient with us for just a moment or so. Good evening. This is Senator Muse, and I'm asking you to please be patient just another moment as others are dialing in now. I thank you very much. Please do not hang up. I'm really thankful that you've called and really want to share with you tonight. So you will be just a few more seconds. Thank you so much. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining me, some of you for a second time for this town hall conference call meeting. This is State Senator C. Anthony Muse, and I appreciate very much your being on this call. Tomorrow, as you know, is Election Day, and I know you will exercise your right to vote. I also hope that by the end of this meeting that you'll be committed to voting for me. And if nothing else, I'm honored to have overcome a troubled past, 11 foster homes, thought I'd never get out of high school, and now hold 3 degrees. And just to have my name on the ballot for state senator yet again is humbling and fulfilling, and having that privilege of serving you. First of all, I want to apologize for the tone of this election. I assure you, I would have never initiated this type of negative, sleazy campaigning. I have been in many races. I've won some, I've lost some, but never have I had this type of attack waged against me, nor have any ever pulled my family into a political campaign. I believe we should campaign on issues and facts, not irrelevant and dirty tactics to distract the voters from the real issues. I apologize that this has happened and assure you that the only way I could have avoided it is to have been a rubber stamp for some special interest groups and put their agenda above that of the people I serve in this wonderful 26th legislative district. For the most part, if you pull up my record, and you can go to the Annapolis website, and you can actually pull up my record for the state of Maryland. For the state of Maryland, I voted 90% or more with my Democratic Party and on labor issues and clean energy issues. Done that most of the time. I have cast more than 10,000 votes in the past 8 years between committee, county Senate delegation, and full Senate. But these two groups, one from New York and one from Baltimore County, have decided to attack me because I disagreed with them on a few positions. Not on the issue, rather how we should reach the goal of a particular issue, keeping in mind what is cost effective and having all of the information. And for this, they attack me as if they are my only constituents. Let me give you a few examples. Pardon? I disagreed on the governor's redistricting plan. I believe it was drawn up to save a few elected positions and get rid of others. And while I am a good Democrat, I do not think that the redistricting process is the one to use to favor any one party. It is to be certain that all voices are heard in the political process. Whites, black, Latinos, Asian, farmers, urban, rural, suburban, all socioeconomic classes, each has a right to have his or her interests heard. The redistricting process should be in the hands of objective professionals and not politicians trying to save us or get rid of others. Farmers in Frederick have few common issues with those in urban Baltimore. So voices are often diluted, and the process that we used, I think, was wrong. Now, to the group, the League of Conservative Voters, on the literature they sent out, get this. They said Anthony Muse was the only one standing in the way of their wind bill. Impossible. It takes 24 votes in the Senate to hold anything up. So at least 23 others did not support that particular plan, even though they supported clean air. But they chose to only go after one senator, me. Then they said, and when they did so, they did not explain everything. They said to me, we will tax all of the residents in Prince George's County and the state $8 to $24 a month. First, they could not tell me how much it would be, and they wanted me to commit to it. And in return, I was to sell it as a jobs bill for my district. Once I saw it was to be built on the eastern shore near Delaware, now I knew that no one from Fort Washington wanted to drive there, and I wasn't going to sell that as a jobs plan for us. Besides that, there were too many unanswered questions about this project, coupled with the fact that if you Google in the Washington Post, you will find that only one company was to get the contract, not many companies. And a few days before we voted, the governor's chief of staff left his position to become a major partner in this windmill project. Now, I'm not casting aspersions, but still, we should have looked to find out exactly what was going on. I couldn't just vote. Then after voting for it, this year, led by Congressman Steny Hoyer and the chairman of my finance committee, they came to session and asked that the Senate rescind the bill, stop the project, because there were too many unanswered questions. Well, you know what? That's exactly what I said. Yet this group mailing to you never targeted the congressman or the chairman of the finance committee, nor any of the other 23 senators who voted against this well-intended but premature bill. They chose to only target me. No one person can hold up anything in the Senate. I am for clean air, but I'm for a plan that is sensible. I'm obviously for clean air. I've sponsored dozens of pieces of legislation, from exhaust-free air to environmental causes of cancer, clean up the bay. I was the lead sponsor. I sponsored 40 pieces of legislation. On the other hand, Veronica Turner passed one bill in 4 years, and that was to benefit SEIU, where she's employed. Why are these groups attacking me? Let's go to the casinos. They say jobs. And what I see now is a letter saying we will set goals with no punitive actions, like if you don't put forth the best efforts, you have to give back some of the $500 million that you're receiving of taxpayers' infrastructure money. Nothing in place to guarantee it. Now, I don't want, I'll be honest, I did not want the casino in my neighborhood. You can put it mid-county, northern county, didn't matter, but not in my neighborhood. But you know what? It's here. And I want to be certain that they live up to their promises. They want a senator to just go along with what they say. I don't just want jobs from the casino and National Harbor. I want equity, not just work there, but in return for the hundreds of millions of dollars that taxpayers invest, they should have a chance for some ownership. Go to National Harbor, for example. I love it, but go there. Look at anything from the transportation services, the limousines, the sedans, all Virginia license plates. Landscapers, all Virginia license plates. I can't stand by and go along with the same empty promises that they have promised. We've been shut out of National Harbor. The taxi cabs protest week after week. National Harbor had the opportunity to economically transform our community, but it did not. I promise you, I will not go to Annapolis and forget who sent me there, and I did not. I promise to not sell out our interests or bow to the pressure of leadership or special interests. I did not, and I will not. And I ask you, do not let them believe that they have a right to come in here and punish someone when you said to me, go to Annapolis and represent us. Go to Annapolis and represent who we are. Shame on SEIU. Shame on Veronica Turner for not showing outrage and trying to benefit from this, working with them to get this done. I said to you the other night, they lied about my wife, and I sent it out to you in my response. I didn't like to send out that kind of mailer. I did not like doing that, but I could not just let them drag my wife into this and try to mar her reputation. You saw the house, not bought, refinanced by her, because then a 90-year-old dad could not get a loan to refinance and fix the house up. No, the church I initially served never went into bankruptcy. You can go online and you can see that for yourself. Check the record. There were 3 pastors after me. I resigned. Bishop Stiff became the pastor. Reverend Hal Henderson became the pastor. Bishop Smothers became the pastor. They never tell you that. They sold it to Reverend Michael Freeman because the congregation went down after I left. That's not my fault. The building was owned by a denomination, so they couldn't take me to bankruptcy court anyway, because the building belonged to the conference. The second one, the new church, interest-only loans, $70,000 a month, Just like they give predatory loans to homeowners, they did the same here. They gave predatory loans, and you know what? When we went in to talk about the loan, they wanted me to sign for 3 more years of $70,000 a month loans. I used the covering of the law, and that many businesses do. Donald Trumps of the world. Even the Washington Post had to do it. Our church voted to reorganize under Chapter 11, not a Chapter 13. They've lied. But besides that, I'm not running for bishop. I'm running for senator. They don't want you to see the issues. Jobs, I bring back jobs every year. School construction, $240 million. Those are jobs when they build that school in my community. 210, $110 million, and $640 million in the budget. Those will be jobs for construction ready to go, ready to go. So I gave, and if you look at it, the rank and file members of SEIU did not do this to me. It wasn't the rank and file members. It was the leadership who used their hard-working money that they pay in dues to wage this personal battle. My record on labor issues and voting on labor issues is 95%. But the leadership, without a vote of the membership, did this. I say send these thugs from New York and Chicago who don't know Clinton from Akilkee, they don't know Fort Washington from Suitland, send them back home. I ask you to vote for me and send the message that we do not appreciate these dirty tactics. If I am wrong, you will tell me I am wrong. Do not give up on the process. Vote for whomever you choose, but vote. I do hope you'll vote for me. I want to go back to complete 210. Work is being done on 210, and the rest of the money is in the project, is in the budget. I want more new schools. Since I become senator, we've finished 2 schools. We've remodeled schools. We've added on to schools. I want to go back and finish that. I want to go back to make sure that our veterans' income tax and property taxes are reduced. They served our country. We should not have the highest rate of homelessness to be the veterans who served our country. Not in our county. That shouldn't be. I want to extend the increases that I got for seniors who are renting, seniors who choose to stay in their home. I want to go back and make sure that we extend this. My cancer cluster, clean air, water, and soil efforts that I worked on for 3 years, that's a part of what I've done. I do have an agenda. I do have a reason for going back, and it's not just to become or to be someone who will just say yes to everything they say. I work for you. You are my bosses, and you are the ones to whom I will answer. I see now that Mr. Wilkins, you have a question, and Mr. Wilkins wants to know, with all the publicity going on regarding the casino, would I support it now, and does it bring jobs? Let me say, if you look at what we, go right ahead. Mr. Wilkins?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Was I accurate in your question?
Yes, sir. You had basically you covered that already, Senator Muse, in reference to the negative publicity that had been put out there in reference to your being against the casinos, but you did give clarity on that, so I'm good.
Thank you very much. I wanted to make sure that if I come back and make a promise to you that it's either in legislation, it's been written in, and I could not understand why they would not simply write it in the legislation and make it the law that the impacted area, being us here in the 26th district, a certain number of jobs would come our way, a certain number of money for amount of money for schools and infrastructure. When they would not put it in the legislation, I learned from the building of the stadium, and I've learned from National Harbor, if you don't put it in writing, more than likely it won't happen. And what they passed the other day, I hope that it works out. But when they say we're going to reach goals, we're going to reach certain goals, but they don't say here's how we're going to reach it. And if we don't reach it, we have a right to have some of our money back that we put into it. None of that is there. I want to watch and work with them to make sure it happens. I thank you very much. Michelle is on the line, and she's asking. Go right ahead, Michelle.
Hello, Senator Muse.
How are you?
I'm doing well. My question is, when is PG County going to improve the roads and cut the grass and hold the property owners as well as those business owners in our community responsible for keeping up the appearance of their area?
Let me say this. One, we had, as you know, each year since I've been elected, especially when I went back for the second term, there was $1 billion deficit that we had to close just about every year. That means the money that we bring back from Annapolis and money that comes from property taxes. One of the problems is most of the tax money that we receive is in the form of homeowners. We put it on the backs of homeowners, property taxes. When the homes lost their value, then the taxes had to, or were supposed to, come down, and we had little money to use. They made a decision to only cut grass, for example, 4 times a year. I have a letter that I sent to them telling them that was not something that we should negotiate. We need to look like the community that we serve. The roads, we brought back an unprecedented amount of money in April for it to begin in July that will go back into the budget. Things like leaves being picked up, potholes being fixed. I have a good partner in Obie Patterson, and my job is to bring back the money to our district. And if you don't mind, let me put this plug in as well. I have Jay Walker, I have Tony Knotts, and I have Obie Patterson, and these are persons that I'm asking you to also help elect so that I will have a partner, and I will have partners. Often I get things passed in the Senate, and when it gets to the House, if they just rubber stamp whatever everyone else tells them, then that makes the work in vain. We need a good team working for us. We'll get that done, and you can always feel free when you see potholes and you see that grass is not being cut. You can always feel free to call me at any point on 301-858-3092. Let me say that again, 301-858-3092. We have another call on the phone. Cora Evans, welcome. Are you there?
Hello?
All right. Well, yeah, there you are. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, Senator Muse. This is Peggy Cora Evans.
It's good to hear from you, and thank you for being on the call. And I have your question: what will happen with gun laws and with gambling?
Yeah.
Let me say that in terms of gambling, one of the things that people don't know is that it will not only be at National Harbor. There will be 8, 10, or 12 licenses throughout Prince George's County where the slot machines and the gambling will take place, because embedded in the fine print of the law was for a number of other 501c3 nonprofits and other organizations to be able to do that. I wanted us to be able to limit it and see how it went. What would it do to our community before we turn Prince George's County into another Las Vegas? People say, well, this will bring money. Well, you know what? North Las Vegas has now filed for bankruptcy. And they're now the casino industries are looking for other places to locate. If people want that here, that's fine. But I think we have to limit it. I don't want to see it in Clinton and in Brandywine and in Bowie. And these are places where they have licenses now, and they will be able to now have their own mini casino. I think we have to monitor that. We have to monitor, as you said, the gun laws. And let me say this about it. I think we had to do something. We had to make a statement. But honestly, unless you do something about the attitudes of people, whether it's guns or whatever they choose, we have to do something about mental health. And I want to go back to make sure that we're dealing with mental health issues relative to gun laws. that we're not punishing those who legally own weapons, and so there's still much more work to be done, and I think we had a good start, but I want to go back and finish. I thank you so much for calling that in. I want to, we now have Eloise Bowers from Fort Washington. Go right ahead. Welcome.
This is Eloise Bowers. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am fine, thank you. My question was, I hear all this information that you're giving out, but I don't hear anything about senior citizens and what's being done for them.
All right, let me tell you one of the things that I did get done this year. We have been talking to a number of people about the amount of money that seniors are paying in taxes, whether they own a home, and we've also been talking about those who rent having their taxes or having their income not rise a lot, but their rent rising more than their income. So I went back to Annapolis and tried to get a bill passed. We started working on rent stabilization since 2007. The governor and others have said they didn't have it in the budget. It would have given a larger amount of money back. But this year, for the first time, the governor signed into law a law that I sponsored to give back to seniors, particularly renters, up to $750 back each year. To give them $750 back this year, I want to be able to say and to expand that rather, so that instead of just getting that $750, by the way, there is a deadline for all seniors to apply. That's September 1st, and you can call me on 858-3092, 301-858-3092. $750 may not sound like a lot of money, but for some of the seniors I represent, when they are making a decision between rent and or medicine and food, that $750 helps. We're going to continue to work. Seniors are very important to me. I thank you for your call. I'm going to have to start just grouping questions because we have a number of persons online, over almost 2,000 persons online. So let me try this. Fiscal responsibility concerning the bankruptcy, the two churches that claims that have been put out. I've already answered that to say I am in the church, so it can't be two churches. You can come to my church, the same church I've been in this building for 7 years, and I've been the pastor of this same congregation for 30 years since I was 26 years old. And so I want to say to Mrs. Martha Amajette that that is absolutely incorrect. That the first building, as I said to you, was sold to Reverend Michael Freeman, and that was 3 pastors after me. So certainly they can't attribute that to me. The building I am in now is being renovated. We have the money to renovate it. You can come by there anytime that you want to come by our church. It's the same building we're in, so they're really incorrect. You can go by 9402 Marlboro Pike. You can even join us any Sunday, but you'll see we have 2 services. Now, it always amazes me, and this is not to you, but to others, that there's so many people concerned about the church, but they don't go to that church. The members who go to that church, they've never voted me out. I've been the pastor 30 years. There are a number of people who say, I'm concerned about the church, but really, the people who go and give their money, they're the ones who have a legitimate concern. And I'm running for senator. I'm not running for bishop. I'm not running for governor. I don't sign a checkbook or anything of the like, but I am fiscally responsible. And just like many of our residents, we have the highest rate of foreclosures in the 26th district in the entire state of Maryland. I would not call them fiscally irresponsible. I would say they were caught up in the times just as businesses in our own state, which have had to raise taxes by billions of dollars. It is what it is. It is not an indictment against one's character. In fact, it's just the opposite. I push for financial literacy in our schools to make sure that we have financial literacy, to make sure that we have training in finances, because things change, times change. So I hope I've answered that question. And then to Billie Jean Brown in Akron wants to know about jobs at National Harbor. and Metro Transportation after 5 p.m. I know that they're working on a transportation plan for National Harbor. We will be having hearings as we go throughout the summer. When it comes to jobs at National Harbor, honestly, I can't promise that. I can only say I hope that that is the case, because when I look at the agreement that was drawn up recently about a week ago by the county, it's a well-intended, good agreement. But let me say this: any agreement that doesn't have in there something that says if we as the county, if we don't stick to our word, what can be done? But if they don't give the jobs that they say they're going to give, and they're under no obligation to do that, because there's nothing punitive there. There's nothing that says if we give you $500 million and you don't reach your goal and show that you tried to reach it, then you've got to give $200 million of it back so we can go into small and local and minority businesses for us to build them up. I don't see that there. I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping the jobs come. I just can't see where it's in writing that will guarantee it. But our county executive is working. We're working hard to try and make that happen. Thank you so very much. Let me say this: you can, as we get ready to bring this to a close, you can reach me even after this is over. You can leave messages for me. You can also reach me on www.senatormuse.com. You can also reach me muse@senatormuse.com. So it's muse@senatormuse.com or www.senatormuse.com. You can reach me by phone on 301-858-3092. I work well with those who understand that we have to have the entire community at heart, and as such, I've been endorsed by our county executive, Sharon Baker. I've been endorsed by our state attorney, also Brooks, who I've worked with on a number of bills, our Congresswoman Donna Edwards, Obie Patterson, who is our councilman that's here, our delegates who are running. I've been endorsed by the Maryland State Educators Association, Prince George's County Educators Association. Am I for labor? Yes. I've been endorsed by the Teamsters Joint Council 55, by the Gazette, by the Fraternal Order of Police, by Prince George's County Sheriff's Association, Prince George's County Police, Civilian and Employees Association, and the Prince George's County Association of Realtors, and the Clergy and Business PAC of Prince George's County. I don't work for SEIU. I work for you. I do not get my paycheck, as Veronica Turner does. Bless her for that. That's wonderful. But you can't attack me because I won't carry only SEIU issues. I work for you. I'm accountable to you. I will listen, and I'm looking forward. I hope tomorrow you will go to the polls. I hope that you'll take 3 or 4 persons. I hope that you will vote for me. I'm asking for your vote, and I'm going to be accountable. I want to thank you. If you would like to ask a question, please stay on the line, and you will be transferred so that you can. For those of you who've allowed me to interrupt your evening, and even some of you for a second time to hear me out, for those of you who have looked at the literature that I've sent in response to the sleazy, dirty, nasty literature that was sent out, I hope that I've answered that. I hope I've answered that with some dignity and as a statesman, and not as one who will get in the mud and throw mud. I thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you at the polls, and I really look forward to having the privilege of serving you for another 4 years. May you have a good night, peace to our county, and the same to you.